Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the SZR Race Series number 12. I'm Nathan Garrett coming at you from Zwift Community Live. We got about 1 minute and 15 seconds or so to go to the start of the A category race. We will only be covering A's, I believe, today. We'll do our best to get into a couple of the other categories if we can click around to those other categories. Broadcaster tools, as we're waiting for a couple of broadcaster tools perhaps on their way. I am linking all of the chats though as best as I possibly can, so make sure to bring your questions, comments, as well as your race predictions. We will make sure to be super interactive today. A little bit of chat though about what is happening with the series right now. Currently in the A category, 40 leading, 101 points, 3 wins, 1 second place. Kim Little quickly rising in the overall, 88 points, just with looks like 1 win, 2 silvers, and a bronze. It looks like there. Jeff Kuna, 3rd place right now, 67 points, a little ways behind, but quite a few races left for him to make up, as he only has 4 in the series. Looking at the B category, we'll talk about that real quick. Jocko Storm, P.A. Pearson, and Krister Selstad there for the top 3. Most likely where we are going to be looking at mostly. Let's jump right into the racing, though, as they are taking off. 76 riders starting off from the line. And we'll see where the likes of Little and it looks like Little and 40 have shown up on the day. I did see them in the start pens a little bit earlier. I'm following all the results live on zwippower.com. Philip Diner up at the top of the, or at the front of the peloton here, right from the get-go. As you can see, I'll be watching out for him as usual for a W out there today for one of the favorites. Crazy fast start on this downhill here. This is always, you can quickly find yourself off the back on this course because of that downhill right from the get-go, actually. So now they do kick into a little bit of a climb. A lot of times if you are gapped from the get-go here, it can be extremely difficult because of the high speeds of the pack that do build due to that downhill into an uphill start, actually. But it does look like a few riders were able to, or all the riders were able to jump on board here at the back end of this group, at the A and the B category starting out together here. Looking through, we do see Trzynski, Team Poland, showing up on the day. I do believe we have a few draft team members as well out there. Looks like, though, Team PL, that might be it for them on the day. If Trzynski is out there, I'll see if we can find anybody else. Does look like Matt Lucas showed up. Bergen is out there. Diner, as I said, 40. Leandro Messineo actually is out there for draft, so I'll be watching out for draft with Messineo out there, because always crazy strong rider. I'm also seeing actually a few others from Team Poland, maybe from not in the A category but in the B category as well. Looking at the chat here, good to see everybody. Baziris for the win. I'm seeing Claudia saying you're in the stay. Okay, we've got a couple other people interacting with each other in house there. The big question will be, will we see Nathan going metric? Look at the top of the screen. What's going on? Look, see, Goev. Wait, you're a little behind the whole deal here, Goev, but thanks a lot for the question there. I appreciate it very much. If you have any more questions or comments, make sure to bring them on back. But this is just for you, Goev. Just for you, man. We've got everything fixed. Just for you. Metric is up at the top of the screen right now. Morning from Malaysia. Zur Kojak is saying as well. Good to see you there, Zur Kojak. We are also following up over on the YouTube as best as we can and Twitch. So good to see Mike Swart. And I'm studying. Is anybody getting some studying of the stream? Let me know. I do not believe that we've had any connection issues whatsoever so far. So back up toward the front end of the race, though, we are mainly with the Bs at this point, so it does look like things are starting to split up toward the front end of this race as we do hit some intense uphill gradients right now. 7% gradient, as you can see currently right now up toward the front end of the race. I do believe the attacks are on with the way that this pack is behaving. I do see one rider off the front. It does look like most likely a vision kit with the green bike there, so I am believing it's going to be Diner. Zhujian is out there as well, so there are a couple of vision riders in the race here today that look to be supporting each other, so I'll be watching out with them. Matthew Zhujian, it looks like the French national champion, actually, out on Zwift. It has shown up on the day. Moving forward here, let's see what the attack is. It does look like we do have 40 here trying to get away. Also riding, so 40 has been picked up by Vision Cycling. I did not see the announcement actually. I did see a notification in the team bus actually just the other day from the team manager. I didn't get a chance to take a look at it. It does look like that was the pickup here. So this is going to be interesting. Zhujian 40 Diner. Vision has this race stacked today, and they are definitely going to be putting the dart, I think, on his back foot just a little bit with that kind of firepower showing up today. We'll have to see if there is any support from Team Draft out there. But if I were a betting man, I'd be watching out for Vision. No, obviously, just from trying to be as objective, or being as objective as we possibly can, of course. We are definitely not there for any kind of predictions that are coming from biases at all. Bay here, though, it looks like the Danish national champion showing up on the day. Soren Bay Team Experimental. I do not believe he does have a little bit of support there with Kim Little. We'll have to see which one they will be riding for. Most likely to be whoever can make it, you know, with the best legs toward the end. Looking through the chat, we do have a lot of people actually showing up from Vision, it looks like here. Victor Clintus saying, go Vision. Good to see you there, Victor. Claudio Baird saying also, math is too much there, Claudio, on the miles to the kilometers there. And what else is going on here? A couple more things. Sinclair for the win, Martin Tucker is saying. We'll be looking for Sinclair out there for sure, just for you. And it is appreciated, Steve. Go, no problem, man. No problem getting the metric system. We should be that way. That, you know, the reality is we use accounts that I do ride on once in a while for the broadcasting. So that does have something to do with it because I haven't gone metric in my head personally yet. So we do have Hodges showing up on the day, though, it looks like, from the KRT Racing team. Be watching out for the Cake Man here, and we'll see if he's got any support out there. I'm not sure KRT has shown up with too many of the big hitters. Hodges might be a little bit solo. I do see Jay Herman out here as well. So Vision with the four riders, some of the strongest that we've seen out on Zwift here, so be watching out for them to be making the attacks left and right. It'd be interesting to see if they will make it an interesting race out there. There is no double draft, I believe, in these races either, so a lot of the racers do tend to, I believe, like to attack a little bit more with the non-double draft, which is interesting to me, but I have found that the races, it's just different. Different riders treat it differently, it seems like, and I believe we're going to see a lot of attacks, though, during this race because of the show up of the Vision riders here that will most likely be continually trying to break things apart and get somebody away here. Hodges, though, backs on off. It looks like 2.4 watts per kilogram now. After that, a little bit of attack. We do have Evenson here now from the Vikings team off the front with Bergen there, Vikings as well. So Vikings both heading to the front, making things difficult. Not full on attacks, though, just making them difficult. 5.5 watts per kilogram on the front end. Bergen here, 4.3. We are seeing Pinguino there, 4.4. And Bike looks like riding for innovation, following it right on up. It does, then also coming from Sylvania here, Lugar. It looks like with 40 right on that wheel. That's your top 6 or so at this point. It is pretty strung out, so the pace being set at the front by the Vikings is causing a little bit of mayhem there, but now it does back off to about 4 watts per kilogram. That's just going to be a steady tempo for the rest of the pack. Get 40 right on as he does push at the front end of this race. Jay Storm has made the break, it looks like here, and Storm, being the series leader, I believe, for the B category, has been able to hang in with these A riders, but it does look like quite a few other B riders have made it in here as well, so it's not going to be easy, I believe, for Storm to walk away with this one today. Now, there's a little bit of a break, though, happening with some of these riders here. I'm seeing R. Ford from the BRT team just struggling a little bit to hang on. 1.1 watts per kilogram now, not really giving any kick to get back on terms, maybe saying it's done for the day. More of an endurance pace at this point. Zhujian now up in the 9 watts per kilogram. I'm not sure where that's coming from. Maybe just making sure that he's not getting left in the dust if anybody does attack toward the front end of the group. Always important to be well positioned in the races, that is for sure. Looking through here, the Adam Zimmerman as well has shown up on the day, so I didn't see that. I did see him moving his way through the pack actually, so I believe he's trying to set up toward the front, and most likely him and Messineo are going to be keeping eyes on the Vision crew that's showing up on the day here. I've seen a couple of race WBR kits in there as well. It is race 3R actually now with the new team name. If somebody can help me out in chat with the ride race. Can't ride race, and it's like it's something, you know, with charity, obviously. Ride race and give. That's not an R, but ride race give. There you go. RRG. No, sorry guys, but that's probably not even correct whatsoever as far as what the new name is. I've had WBR for like, what is it, 2 years now or something, so I've got to completely reprogram my brain on that one. But looking forward in the pack. Let's see what's happening at the front end of the group at this point, as chat is turning into a peanut gallery a little bit here. Pierre's good there from Team PL as well, so there has been another Team Poland rider that's showing up on the day. Looker is in there, as we said earlier, now making his way to the front. Kind of solidified this front runners now at this point. It looks like Stromsholm from the Vikings team is out there riding for the B category, and I do believe he's one of the leaders in this series right now, or at least getting close to it. 6th place right now, I believe, with 39 points, 5 races total. And it looks like on the climb pretty quickly here, tied 4-6 with Johan Lovdahl. Matthew Halvatis just above them there with only 3 races and 40 points actually, so he's rising in the ranks quickly with an average of 13.3 points per race, so solid results for him. He might be a threat actually if he is in the race today. We'll have to be looking around in the B category for Matthew Halvatis. I believe coming out of Greece, if I'm not incorrect about the flag there. Up toward the front, though, the attacks are on, as you can see on the on these little bit of a puncher climbs. And this 6 train course is just painful. It hits so many sections with so many intense bumps on, I mean, little climbs. And there's always an opportunity to attack here. And as you can see up toward the front end of the race right now, it is going to be Zimmerman following an attack here, what looked like to be Vision and Team Experimental with Kim Little. Zhujian off the front a little bit here. We do have Diner still, 5.4 watts per kilogram, trying to make things extremely difficult now. And on the wheel, it is going to be M Bike from Innovation. Vikings have made the group now with Evenson, then Kim Little sitting on, UK national champion in there, as well as 40 from Vision. A few others now still jumping into the pack, making sure that they do make this break. It does look like Adam Zimmerman able to get up into the break as well. We also have the Dart from Draft there, Dart Frog there, which is Leandro Messineo. But it is Vision who is driving the pace at the front end of this group. Hodges, B Hodges now with Jay Herman here, all just jumping onto the back end of this group, making sure they do not get stuck in the split. We'll see if we can see exactly where that split is, but again, driving the pace at the front. Riders not wanting this group to come back together, and there is the elastic snap there with Podlegar just barely getting by. Kalen there looking for the wheel there. Zimmerman still looking for a wheel as well, as you can see the U.S. national champion kit there. A couple of others behind trying to get back on terms. If we can try and make out the orange jerseys, those are interesting toward the back end by Gagliasso there. It is Bovin there as well jumping onto the wheel. Who is right behind that though? That's what I'm wondering. It's Pearson here. Pew Pearson, who is battling out with Jay Storm actually. This is second and first place in the B category. And Pearson has gotten 2 W's actually in the series here, while Jocko Storm has got 3. Pearson also has 2 silvers here, so he's right on the heels because it's 3 silvers, 3 second places, 3 firsts for Jocko Storm, while Pearson has 2 and 2. So on the hunt here, it looks like Pearson for that first place if he can get enough results in Jocko still amongst the group, though, so it is going to be between the two of them amongst this lead group for that B category to try and get the better of the other. Now, the difficult thing, though, with that is because they both got away and there aren't too many other B category riders in here, it's going to be first and second place. So all he can really win out over the top of him is going to be 7 points. 25 points to the winner, 18 to second place. I do not believe there are any other B category riders. I might have misspoke. No, it does not look like too many have made it. It does look like Esterni here on the chase with Runberg, folks, and then Notley Homlin here. A lot of A riders now off the back after those attacks through that 10% gradient uphill. Looking through, it looks like Adam Zimmerman, 5.5 watts per kilogram on the back end of this group. Things are calming down a little. Well, I shouldn't say too much, as we are seeing 4.3 watts per kilogram just to hang on at this point. Still a little bit of anxiousness in the group, as you can see, just to look for what's going to be happening next, because they are definitely not slowing down at the front end here. So people are just driving the pace continually. So you do see Z Okorn here with Herman right on the wheel. Diner now with a follow-up attack here, 550 watts, and we can see the Dart now making sure that he's going to cover that. No, Kalen's going to be the one that jumps on, actually. The Dart letting it go a little bit here, and it looks like it is going to be a 1 second gap, these two off the front, but not sure that's the powerhouse together, perhaps, that can make something happen unless Kalen comes through with a serious attack that is just a cover, I believe, from KRT. Not actually going to be working with Diner, I believe, and just looking to keep things together. We'll see, though, as he is trying to get a little bit of a gap again, continues to push the pace. Kalen up in the 7 watts per kilogram, and it looks like El Jeff's here, 138 beats per minute, 5 watts per kilogram with Bike, and then Herman, Kim Little, sitting in at the front end, just trusting that this isn't going to go anywhere. Sinclair in there from KRT. We have found that rider. M. Sinclair here, 3.7 watts per kilogram, sitting in steady at this point. Riding for KRT and allowing Kayla to do the work to keep Vision within check. I believe Hodges has made it as well, so 3 riders from KRT at least in there today that will be working together to try and take down this W. Vikings showing up, as you can see the name there. Now, the Vikings team, just so you guys know, everybody in game that is a part of a team is using their own either specific jersey that has been put in game, or they are borrowing a jersey that is a general jersey that is in game. One of the, no, I shouldn't say generic, but one of the jerseys that are either earned in game or, well, they're all earned, almost all earned in game, besides what you get just right up front. So we are seeing, though, with the Vikings team, so you can see here with KRT, they do have their own in-game kit. The Vikings team not having a kit in game of their own as of yet. Not sure if they are developing one or not, but they've done something cool in borrowing the Amgen Tour of California design as their team kit, and all of the Vikings ride in that blue and black kit, as you can see there. So when you do identify with the V there as well as the blue and black, you can tell between the peloton who's who as far as the teams do go, as they do try to identify themselves pretty well to try and see who's who, where for when you're out there racing and following up with your teammates, but also at the same time it does help with identification in the broadcast too. Vision here keeping things pretty under wraps now after all those attacks they were throwing down. We'll see if another team wants to try and get away. Now, I had no idea what Gove was tired, or somebody came in. I don't know if it was Gove, but somebody came in, and it was Gove saying "Go Baziris," and I had no idea that Baziris was actually a person. I was like, Baziris, go, whatever that is. Sounds good, but it looks like it is going to be a person coming out of France. And is the F in there riding for Team France? Is that what that's about there? F's in chat for Team France. But I believe that may be what that's about, because we do have Bovin here as well. So that most likely that is what is happening here. It does look like they are using a specific kit in game, which is going to be, I believe that's one of the level unlocks. I'm not sure which one it is. Maybe not, though. Looking through here at it, it might be a Tour of Swift. I'm not positive which one that is, but the blue and white there, that they're all over there. Series for the win. See, Goev is letting us know, so we'll have to see how that does play out here. 11 seconds. Wanjo Ferris is saying, I'm wondering what that's all about. Maybe perhaps to do with the gap that is there in that that race. Herman now back at the front, as you can see. Vision continuing with their attacks and counterattacks, having a couple of national champions out here. National champion of Germany, Jay Herman. The Dart now making a little bit of press. Maybe Draft and Vision looking to work together a little bit to break this up and not have too many sitting on the wheels getting all the benefit of the work that they're doing. The Dart, though, here with 9 watts per kilogram. We do see Diner here following up very quickly, and as they do head into this extreme gradient, they were setting up with a lot of speed. This will most likely cause a serious gap, actually, as Messi Neal kicks into 10 watts per kilogram. Diner, seen as a serious threat, matches the 10 watts per kilogram, jumps right on the wheel. Kay Evanson here from the Vikings team on terms as well. 195 beats per minute coming from the Dart now. Zimmerman able to jump on there. U.S. national champion Pierce got now. Team PL. We also have 40 following up. Draft is in there with the U.S. national champion. Zimmerman still sitting on Hodges. McQuaid is going from Draft. KRT trying to get involved with Kalen. Not quite on terms with it. 1 second is the gap. Up in the 5 watts per kilogram, trying to get that wheel. Not sure it's going to go anywhere. Large pack here, almost back on terms with it, but if they do kick again, it most likely will snap on this next section, as it was just short enough for any rider to maybe be able to put their wattage into that 30 second to 1 minute. But the second time, that's usually where it matters with continuance, and if they do press the pressure on this pack one more time, if they really put the pressure on right now, turn the screws to the front, as you can see, people will start falling off. We do have about 2 or 3, maybe 4 riders unable to match the efforts there. Kim Little has made it. It looks like here. Sinclair's in there. Zhujan's there. Bergen has made it. Zimmer looks like Draft actually with 3 riders that have made it in here. But 6 seconds back, there's going to be Pavgar Kuna actually unable to hang on to the pace that was made at the front here. And this is a dangerous situation for him, being currently 3rd place overall, riding for Madroa. He is off the back and looking to lose points to Zimmerman. Dempster's not in here today, but Bergen, Diner, Looker, all in the race here today, chasing him down for that 3rd place overall. So, and they're all within that 25-point marker for sure. So we'll see if we can get back on terms. 6.5 watts per kilogram from Kuna, trying to get back up to the wheels here as he continues to press on. And what an effort there from him, as the group up front does slow down. 3.5 watts per kilogram, not really trying to make sure that they stay away from Kuna. They're not too concerned about him coming back, it looks like here. It'd fall off once, most likely a lot of times unable to stay a second time if they do fall off once out there on course. Looking through again though, 6 watts, 6% gradient, 8% and 9% gradient. No more attacks though. It looks like everybody a little bit petered out at this point after following those attacks from Team Draft and Messineo, as well as Vision. They seem to be the main instigators today with the numbers, so it is kind of heating up to be a Vision versus Draft out there, with a few of the other riders from the other teams sitting in and following, having a little less numbers. Team Experimental does have some numbers out there that today, looking for that Danish National Champions kit to see if he has made it. It does look like it's Soren Bay there on the right-hand side of the screen. Kim Little out there as well with that UK National Champions kit. So a lot of firepower from Team Experimental, and they've just been following the wheels so far. So perhaps we may see something from them after Vision and Draft maybe burn a couple too many matches. We might start seeing some car winner attacks. Still a lot of racing to go though. Maybe also reason for not too many attacks from all of the teams just yet, probably mainly to do with the fact that there is 33k total, so only about halfway through the race here. So on the back end here with the final few K, that we might start to see something from Team Experimental, or maybe they're putting all their matches into that sprint at the end of the race here. Looking at Tom of Kalen saying hate post-interval race. So according to Kalen here, it looks like instead of just warming up for the race, sounds like Kalen was out there doing intervals and getting a race in for that little bit of extra in the legs, or a lot of extra in the legs. Marcin Moskal in here saying, "Go in team Poland." Got a few out there cheering on the guys with the red and white out there. Claudia Berry in there saying the white hair looks sweet. Who are we talking to about the white hair? Who's got white hair out there? Are we talking? Is that I think Hodges has got the white hair out there. Not positive though. Actually, no. It is a draft member that she looks at. She's after there. Matt Looker for the win. It looks like Tom Neal with the call out there for Looker. We'll see if we can take it down. Is he an unattached rider? I believe he's been riding unattached from what I've seen, and maybe just showing up and letting everybody know what he can do. Looking for a team? We'll have to wait and see. Hard, steady race so far. Seen on ZP. High average power coming from Frank Dio there. I'm going to take a look here real quick and see what it has to say about the average power so far. It does look like it is fairly high. At this point, I'm going to take a look. Yesterday's race was like 4.5 to 5.2 watts per kilogram for the duration of the race. It does look like it's about 4.5 to 5.3 with Diner, who has been on the attack a lot for the average. To sit in and amongst this pack so far, you would have to be doing 4.5 watts per kilogram actually. 4.3, 4.2. Right around there for some of those who have been resting up a little bit more. It does look like Jujan there, Matthew, has been the lowest watts per kilogram, though. That is an extremely interesting fact, because Zhujian is, we talk about the Python a lot from Innovation. And if there's anybody who can go toe-to-toe with the Python, it will be Zhujian. Solid sprinter there. I'd be watching out for him, actually, if he's resting up 4.3, just following the wheels there and allowing Vision to soften everybody up, get somebody into a break maybe, but their backup there is most definitely going to be Zhujian, who's going to be looking for that sprint at the end. So it does look like the pack has definitely been whittled down, though, at this point. Only 24 riders left in the group here. Looking through the team names, interesting to see Romain Baziris as well as Baptiste Bovin. Fodre. Can somebody give me an interpretation? What that translates to? And I'm probably saying it totally incorrect there. Fodre. But good to see Team Fodre. I'm gonna see what this. They have some information. There's a lot. It's Team France. Is that what it is? Oh, no, there's people on the team that aren't from France. Actually, just a couple there. It does look like it is going to be a couple of Belgian riders actually. So a little bit of information on that would be great. I'm seeing just Frank Deal, a couple of others coming through. Go Team X here from Jacob Hill. Good to see Jacob jumping in there as well. David Rollo, do the top riders make a living doing these races? In real life, we do have some pro riders that do show up. We do have ex-pros that have made a living showing up. Indoor specialists as a whole are not making a living yet that I know of, and there is no professional indoor specialist at this point. There is some income for some of the live events that have gone down, but there's definitely not the kind of income that's needed or the infrastructure at this point to have a pro peloton or circuit in that manner yet. Herman here and Messinil here sneaking away. Well, not really sneaking away. On a full-on orange numbers attack here. Herman able to cross to Messinil. This is a serious threat because Draft and Vision are in and amongst this attack, and that is the two teams that are the biggest threat, I believe, amongst the pack at this point with the most numbers. So I believe this is going to be allowed to stick and get away unless KRT, as you can see, is able to follow up. And Sinclair, knowing that that's a reality, is on the front, having to do all the work to try and bring this back. I'm not sure he has the firepower in the rest of the team to try and do so. We are seeing Diaz up here. Nano trying to get across as well, up in the 6 watts per kilogram. We'll give him a ride on for the effort there. Diner just following the wheels, not going to do any work in the front, knowing that he has a teammate up front. And this is most definitely a situation that the teams are going to have to respond to. Having Draft and Vision away with 13 seconds, working at 6 watts per kilogram here from Herman. They were back down for 3 for a second there. If they really work well together, they will most likely stay away. The pack is going to have to do something here. Pierce getting out, Team PL, Vikings now making the way to the front now. It's teams versus team. Always love to see this out here, as they're going to start throwing down their workhorses toward the front end of this pack. Evenson here being sent to the front by the Vikings here. 5 watts per kilogram steady is what they're going to need minimum to try and bring that back. Ellis now goes to the front, slows it down. Interesting though, 3.3 watts per kilogram. Just making sure that it doesn't get dropped at this point. Not really looking, it looks like, for any kind of a headwind to do any work. Diner shuts it down, 4 watts per kilogram. It's interesting though, for those that do not know how the drafting works within Zwift when it comes to trying taking back time like this. If you're on a team and you hit the front at all, you will speed the you will speed them up. Actually, if you go to the front and then like and your avatar charges to the front, it will act like a echelon in that it will take the speed you took to the front and put it into the rest of the pack. So a lot of times what you'll see is that the riders that are familiar with that, they'll ride right up to second wheel and then slowly make their way to the front if they can with the lowest watts per kilogram that they can, and then back it right on down to like 3 watts per kilogram or something in order to slow things down, to keep on shutting the door. It does look like we have Team Experimental here on the front, though, trying to bring this back together. It was LM that was up and out of the saddle, though, and those orange numbers to really bring the pace up, actually. Now it is going to be Kalen, 6.3 watts per kilogram, but they're starting to get out of sight a little bit, and it is 4 seconds, though, to the right-hand turn, and we'll see what the time is, though, in just a moment. Is it still 4 seconds? I'm not sure. Has Herman been dropped, actually? No, he hasn't. Messinio's just backed off, and it does not look like they're super interested in trying to keep this gap, perhaps. No, back out to 9 seconds. They just went down because of the climb there, and they're going to need to stay motivated. Now we are seeing 40, though, saying, forget it. I'm going to go. I'm going to catch them off guard. There is no draft on 40 there, so it is not actually a threat to the riders up front. If they can get 2 vision riders in there, they will be able to work together much better here. Herman now up in the 7 watts per kilogram, as the dart does not want him to come along with it. Now Zimmerman looks very conflicted at this point. I saw him up toward the front end of the race, of the pack there, wondering if she should bridge across. He does not do so. Herman, 0 watts per kilogram, jumps on terms with him and then backs off. Thought it was a dropout maybe, but no. Looks like it was just looking for the wheel. It looks like they're almost waiting for 40, wanting that firepower to be there. But it's 5% gradient on the uphill now, as you can see. Now we do see, it looks like LM from Team Experimental trying to get involved here. Diner now up into the 12 watts per kilogram, trying to get multiple vision riders to cross with those orange numbers, and this is how you get it done. Zimmerman now knowing that there's going to be multiple vision riders up there up against Messinio, doesn't want his rider to be solo, trying to go across right along with them. Draft and Vision lighten this race up on New York today, and we do have Bike from Innovation trying to get involved, following the wheels of the strong teams out there today. Now it is Diner on a counter, 6 watts per kilogram. The dart has used all of the darts he's got so far, it looks like, with Zimmerman just getting on terms. Will they allow Diner to slip off the front as they go through the lap traffic? Diner 181 beats per minute, though, cruising along 46 kilometers per hour. What do they have to chase this down? Herman, orange numbers with LM here going across, and Draft might be dropped out of the whole situation if they do not go across now with 3-3 out the front. 40, though, trying to get involved. This is the moment of truth for everybody out on course in this A race. Will they be able to hang on? It's mayhem behind. There's C riders, D riders, A riders, orange numbers. It's all going down here in the race out on New York right now. Who's going to end up lasting, though, to the end of these attacks? And it isn't going to be Erickson. Gagliasso's off the back. Ellis here now has been caught out. As you see, Baziri's there from Team F. We're seeing McQuaid now trying to go across. He's been caught out. Team Draft losing 1 off the back here. Zimmerman now 2.2 watts per kilogram. But no, is it coming back, though? 3 seconds. Everybody's been completely burned out, though, on all the attacks. It was attack after attack. And guess who the entire time is sitting in watching the mayhem? Kim Little, Matthew Jujon. That may be what we see out here today is a Kim Little versus Matthew Jujon sprint, because they are the ones that have sat in, followed the wheels, played it smart, allowed the other team members to do the work, and brought it all back together. I thought there was no way after all those attacks that we would have a group like this all back together, but it has been done. The teams were able to bring it back. Kim Little here sitting pretty at 131 beats per minute, resting up to take that W. And this man has his eyes on the prize. It's about the overall in the series, because it's him versus 40. And 40 tried going. Kim Little trusted LM to bring that back. Team Experimental, knowing what the series standings currently are, second place overall versus first place overall. Vision versus Experimental might actually be the story on the day in the background, with LM doing that work to keep Kim Little in the race. So looking toward the front, though, B. Hodges here, Herman, Evanson now, all backing downwards. You can see all those watts per kilogram that you're looking at right now, fairly chill compared to what we just saw. Everybody trying to catch their breath a little bit. Definitely keeping, trying to look for what is on the horizon for who is going to go next, maybe for the next attacks. But, with only about 5.5K or so to the finish line, it's going to be it's going to be a risky move if anybody does go. But if they are looking for the W, Vision might be able to pull something off here still. But I think Draft is going to be more motivated to do so, as they've got a lot more points again compared to what Vision has to do. They just have to follow wheels at this point to keep 40 in the right spot here. But it is going, or take out some of those top spots and just put 40 in a good position at the end because of how many points that he does have. But Draft here is on the attack again. Messinio, the dart off the front, as you can see, has immediately gained 4 seconds, 5 seconds, and Experimental, LM just letting him go. Interesting to see, 2.7 watts per kilogram. Maybe not letting him go, 178 beats per minute. There might be nothing left. This is late enough in the race that it might be a threat to be gone for the day. Messinio now. Herman goes again to follow it up. Bike from Innovation now. M-Bike, 9.6 watts per kilogram, 164 beats per minute. Diner goes right along with it to follow the wheels. You can see Herman not even close to Messinio's wheel now. Messinio has 8 seconds actually over the top of everybody else. 7.6 watts per kilogram, but it's 199 beats per minute. Was there going to be any continuance over the top here with that kind of a heart rate? 200 beats per minute, 2.0 watts per kilogram, trying to find some sort of power. When you see it fluctuating intensely like that, you know he's trying to find every last ounce of energy to keep the speed going here. But Bike here coming on 6 seconds is the difference. 28.6K in total coming into the finish here soon. Herman, Evenson, Looker, as you can see here, Jujon still in there. It's only 6 seconds. Not sure he is going to be able to hold on to this. Claudia Berry cheering on her teammate. Go Leandro for the win out there for Team Draft is what she's looking for here. Looking at who else think this is going to stick from Team Draft. It's only 6 seconds. It does look like he has been caught at this point. Let's start getting those predictions going. Team Draft, Vision Cycling. We've got, who else is out there? Vikings is out there. Team Experimental. Team Poland, as well as KRT, all involved here. McQuaid is off the back, though. Larson from GSK. Vikings just falling off the back as well. So a lot of riders still just getting spit out the back toward the back end of this race. Usually things calm down enough at this point for the riders to start just hanging on and waiting for the sprint, but it has just been non-stop. Nobody wants this to slow down. They want to continue to try and break this up. It's going to be a hard race all the way to the finish line. Kim Little Calendar Anson's asking for Team Experimental. Frank Deal's calling out. Put some more effort in, Matt Looker, Tom is saying. And has Matt Looker been able to make it all the way to this section? It does look like. We'll see if he can throw down for Race WBR. Looking through the current situation for the live tab right now over at zwiftpower.com, where we can see all the current results, all into those red numbers here. 5.0 watts per kilogram just to hang on for some of these riders. Philip Diner, they're up in the 5.2 so far, so been a crazy fast race as we head into the last 3K. 40 here, 2.0 watts per kilogram. Herman now with a 2-second gap, though, hanging on at 5.0. Now, this is just a slip off the front kind of situation. If he holds on to this kind of wattage, and they do not get onto his wheel, but we are going to see a kick, I think, from the group that's going to bring things back together, I believe. But now a little bit of a kick from Looker, actually. 5.6 watts per kilogram. Is he going to try and catch them off guard, maybe? We'll have to wait and see between these riders. Let's hear your predictions. What's your favorites out there today? Jujan and Little, they've been sitting in enough. I'm going to call out Matthew Jujan. I haven't seen him out there for a sprint in quite a while, and I have a feeling that the Vision riders that were out there looking just to soften up the legs. We'll have to see if Jujan's able to pull it off. I do know that he is, crazy strong sprinter. But we also have Kim Little has been sitting in and following the wheel. Soren Bay's also out there, and he has not been sticking his nose in the wind much at all either. So it'd be interesting to see how things turn out there. But 40 also for Vision, maybe looking for points. It really is, as far as the series goes between Kim Little and 40. So it is Vision versus X out there for that. We don't really have too many of the draft boys. Well, they're not up there in the second and third. Zimmerman, though, and Dempster is. But Zimmerman here, 3 races, 62. But he's taken 2 W's, so perhaps looking to make something happen. Now, Diner off the front. This is toward the finish. There's only like less than 2K to go. 8 watts per kilogram, 6 seconds, and they're just letting him go. This might be all done. He can hold on to 6 watts per kilogram, I believe, to the finish line after this attack. They're going to have to give here, and they're not going to want to, though, because they want to save for the sprint. The riders who are kind of solo out there, they're not going to work together. The team members for Vision, who are like half the pack out there, they're not going to work together. Kim Little's going to have to put somebody on the front to close this down. Will his teammates work for him? Now Little making his way to the front. 3.3 watts per kilogram, but Diner's got 11 seconds. It's done. Are they going to bring this back? Trzynski now 6.2 watts per kilogram, trying to work for Team Poland up and out of the saddle. Who's he working, though, for Team Poland? It's Pierre's guy, I believe. Now Herman following things up. They're not going to chase this down. It looks like Vision has caught them all off guard. Are they going to be able to pull this off? Let's see. But it's going to be difficult here. 14 seconds. I don't think it's coming back. They've just let him go. He slipped away. It's said and done, it looks like, at this point, with Kim Little looking at everybody like, why did you let them go? All of that resting up. Now the question is going to be Sinclair, 12 watts per kilogram, looking to chase it down, but Diner's still going at 7 here. He's got a gap. 40's trying to come along with him, though, as you can see, and Sinclair, though, still 10 watts per kilogram. He's been sitting in for so long. Philip Diner, though, sees the finish line, though, right in front of him. It's going to be Diner. No problem. Calming it right on down. Caught him all off guard. And Philip Diner with the W. Sinclair, though, just barely at the line, gets caught. It's going to be Piersga across the line, it looks like, for the second place from the pack. We'll have to take a look at the replay, but I believe it was Piersga. But Diner jumps from the pack. Herman softened everybody up throughout the entirety of the race, over and over. Him and Leandro. Where was Draft at the finish? 40 is the question, too, along with Little. It looked like it was a team experimental versus Vision for the overall, but 40 and Kim Little were nowhere to be seen. But maybe the reality is that Vision was just looking to grab some of those points at the front end and make sure that Kim Little or anybody else can't close that gap in the first place. That also works if Vision does take down those top spots. Let's go ahead and take a quick look here at that replay, though. As the attack was on, we did see here's Diner giving a go here to the finish line. Speed up just a little bit here. But here comes, Sinclair was off the front. He had 3 seconds at this point. I thought he was going to take second easily, was unable to hold on. Kim Little's at the front, those 12 watts per kilogram. Diner's just going to take it down here. Kim's trying to hold on. Jay Herman comes through at 15 watts per kilogram. But on this downhill, it's interesting to see how much it changes up in this last couple of seconds here. Sinclair, but no, Piersga comes through. Didn't even have the highest watts per kilogram, but just timed it perfectly with Herman, I believe, taking second, followed up by Looker, and then Zhujan. The timing, I have a feeling, being maybe a little bit unfamiliar with this specific course, perhaps caught people a little bit off guard. So amazing result, amazing race there, good finish. We started off a little slow there, and a little bit convoluted between the riders, I think, is figuring out what was going to be happening. But then the attacks were on and on and on and on, over and over again, non-stop out there today. We're looking through here. Matthew Gardner said no questions, it was going to be Zimmerman. I thought Zimmerman might take it down too as well. Matthew, I mean, he looked solid out there today. We also saw Johan was out there saying a Kim Little win, but Kim, for some reason, faded toward the end there. I think maybe went a little bit too early. Being a downhill, finish there, it definitely, being a downhill finish, it definitely changed things up a bunch there. With that downhill finish, I think, for a lot of the racers. So Johan Wallstrom saying nice attack. A big ouch there from Tom Ove Kalen. Tom, I bet, man, you were out there doing intervals and then finished up with this. So great race. What was the draft, regular or half? I do believe it was regular. I do not believe SZR. SZR has no power-ups, no double draft. Like, they keep it kind of plain and simple between all of the new stuff that's been introduced. So looking at the results, though, it is going to be Diner who was able to take down the W out there for the A category. We're going to bring in the results. Keep your questions and comments coming right on in. For some reason, it's interesting that it keeps on going back to... Oh, it's because of the queue. I need to erase the queue, so it keeps going back to the queue, and I need to, like, erase the queue. This is like a... There we go. Clear the queue. Claudia, you're in queue. And so it just keeps on going back to your... It keeps going back to your comment there, because if you queue them up, they just go pop, 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 pop on like a timer. So it's like, it just keeps on saying, go Leandro, over and over again. So absolutely hilarious. But the results, though, out there today, this is how things played out. So it is going to be Philip Diner here with the W, with a crazy attack. Ended up winning by, it looks like, about 4 seconds on the day, which is a pretty, pretty big gap there between the riders and himself. I'm going to see if I can bring the actual results in here, and it does look like we can do so. It looks like Diner, followed up by Piersga in that amazing sprint, was able to get a pretty good gap, actually, I mean, comparatively to what we usually see in the finishes. So Diner, Piersga, Matt Looker there coming across the line. Well, no, this is interesting. That's actually changed up here. Hold on a second. Let's see if I can get the actual results, because I'm getting a different read through from another browser here. So give me just a second here, see if I can find the actual results. As it's giving me definitely a different results for... There we go. Now we got it. So it is going to be Diner, Piersga, Looker, Matthew Drujan, Adam Zimmerman there for 5th place, and then Leandro Messineo, they're coming through in 6th. So that's going to round things out for the top 6. Les Jeffs, Ken Evanson, Kim Little falling back to 9th, followed by Matt Sinclair. Look at the big... That's a huge difference, actually, from that whole... from where Sinclair was all the way up until the... finish line there, being off the front there, and then making it all the way back to 10th place after the pack came out. I mean, it's just like real life racing like that, I'm not seeing Herman amongst the results there, so perhaps Zara approval on its way or something. Sinclair, man, it was a valiant effort off the front there. I mean, you almost had it, but just like in real life racing there, I mean, if you got the pack charging, you can lose places in a millisecond. I mean, that was literally in milliseconds. Suddenly 10th place, right? So, yeah, I'm not sure what's happening with the Herman situation there. If he does have a flag or needing of ZZR approval, not sure. We'll have to wait and see. But as far as the overalls go, we'll wait and see how it does change up. I do not believe there's going to be too much change up between any of the riders besides Diner will gain 25 points, which will put him into 3rd place overall, I believe, depending on where he finished up compared to Zimmerman. So him and Zimmerman, they're battling it out for that 3rd place. As Kuna is put on the back foot, being dropped off from that top, that front group actually out there. So solid result there all around between the riders, though. All right, so for the B category, let's chat about that real quick. As we were watching Jocko along with P.A. Pearson, Jocko did end up taking the W out there, followed up by Erling Stromsholm there, taking 2nd place for the Vikings team. Then it's Johansson there for SZR. And then P.A. Pearson, who's been trying to battle it out with Jocko, unable to get the better of him. So, it was close, but unable to do it. Matt Sinclair, man, he says he blew hard, had to sit down and try to go again, but I was wrecked. Good try, man. Good try. It was right there. It was right there. Almost made it happen. It was a huge, valiant effort, that's for sure. All right, everybody. That's going to be it for me. Thanks a lot for tuning in for the SZR Autumn Series race number 12. If you do want to check out our VODs, they're always hanging out over on YouTube for Zwift Community Live, over on Twitch as well for about 60 days, I believe. But usually if you want a VOD, head on over to the YouTube channel. You can always watch it over here on Facebook. Usually, sometimes Facebook doesn't always hold on to them either. But thanks everybody for tuning in, and we will see you tomorrow for the KISS Europe race with Jesper Anker is going to be hosting that for us. As always, great job to all of the racers out there. And as always, right on.